Hey, I'm Rose Hollow, board certified naturopathic doctor, and I specialize in hormones. So I got this question today, and I thought it was a really interesting one. The client had purchased a Dutch test and an interpretation from me, and she belongs to a support group for women dealing with estrogen dominance. And she asked me, why do we do this test if the answer is always just to take progesterone, just to use bioidentical progesterone? And I thought this was an interesting question because I know that a lot of us who work in this realm, we either support giving a lot of progesterone or we don't. And I would say I fall into the category where I usually support using progesterone, especially if somebody is very symptomatic with estrogen dominant symptoms, because estrogen is the lion and progesterone is the lion tamer, like my colleague Kitty Martone says so eloquently. So, but I think that's a little bit of a misunderstanding there, because even though progesterone is going to solve a lot of problems for a lot of people, doesn't necessarily mean that it is indicated for everyone and that us practitioners are recommending it for everyone, no matter what your Dutch test says or any kind of hormone testing. I think there is some nuance here. So while I think progesterone is not going to really hurt anybody, and I could make a whole video on why I think that, and the research to back me up on that, I would say that even though it's not going to hurt you, you could have undesirable symptoms if you are taking it too soon before working on other health problems, or if you just have estrogen dominance that is just so out of control and your detox pathways are so blocked up that you're just having a lot of estrogen receptor stimulation, and it's going to take, like bucket loads of progesterone to really get on top of it. So what I would say is, while I don't think progesterone is really going to hurt anybody, the symptoms that are unmasked when we are using progesterone, sometimes other issues become very apparent that needed to be worked on first before we brought progesterone on board. So I guess that's the nuanced part of it, and this is why I really suggest working with a practitioner, because if you work with somebody who's trained and sees people every day with these issues, we can tell you whether we think your success using progesterone is probably more likely or less likely to be a good experience for you based on whatever else you have going on and based on the information that we get from you. So while progesterone won't hurt you, it's not necessarily indicated for everybody at all stages of life.